this video, we break down just how much you need to study in Canada as an international student. Hi friends, welcome back to our channel. My name is Rosaline. We film videos about our life in Canada and how you can join us here. We encourage you to support our channel by subscribing. Thank you. The topic for today was inspired by these two tweets. As an ex-international student, I'm in a good position to tell you about some of the costs I incurred when I started my journey as an international student to Canada. So I've categorized this cost into 4 groups and I'll be breaking them down as we go. But first off, let's discuss the scope of this video. The monetary values are in Canadian dollars and some of the costs vary, some are fixed. Also, the monthly expenses I'll be giving you is based on somebody that is living in New Brunswick, Canada, which I can also say the Atlantic province. Let's dive in, guys. So it's the first group of costs that you should expect to spend before you get your study permits. These are the costs that you will likely incur. So the very first one is the application fees to schools. As an international student that intends to come to Canada, you are supposed to apply to a designated learning institute. These are institutes that have been approved by provinces and the federal government to accept international students. Most of these schools require that you pay an application fee, and the average is about $125 and it ranges up to $200. So you can expect to pay between $100 and $200 for application fee. So that will be our very first cost on the list. The next cost will focus on the cost of acquiring the documents required to gain admission into the school. Basically, the cost of getting your transcript from your previous college. So if you're applying to about 3 schools, then you should expect to pay the cost of transcript 3 times. So that's why I put it around $300. You should expect to pay around $300 to $400, depending on the number of schools you have to apply to before you got a letter of admission. So the third cost is language test. As Nigerians, English is our first language. Some schools don't expect us to write a language test, but some schools actually want us to write a language test too. So if you have to do a language test, and the cost of the IELTS academic is about $330 Canadian. So the fourth cost is your tuition deposit. So after you get admitted into school, most of these universities or colleges, they expect that you pay half your tuition cost for the year, which is almost equivalent to 1 semester of tuition fees. And according to StatCan, the average tuition for international postgraduate students is $20,000. So if you're expected to pay 1 semester of fees, that's about $10,000. So that's another cost that you will likely incur as an international student, because most of these schools, they write it on their letter that your space will only be maintained if you pay these fees. And if you get the letter of admission and that's what you're going to be using for immigration, immigration will expect that you have paid those fees before you submit your immigration application. So yeah, so $10,000. I know that's a really high number, especially for with the current exchange rates. Now Naira is at 463 to Canadian dollar, so it's very steep. It's not for the faint of heart, but you will be fine. So that's the main purpose of this video, to better prepare you and make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into. So the next category of cost that I would like to discuss today is the immigration cost. That's cost of submitting your study permit application. So the very first cost that you are going to incur is your study permit application fees, and that's about $150 Canadian dollars. So the next one that you're going to be paying for is your biometrics. Biometrics is about $85. After that, you're expected to pay for your medical fees, which is about $300. And the final expense under the immigration application cost will be the police certificate. This is an optional document because when I submitted my application, I didn't put a police certificate, but I know a lot of people from Naira land that puts a police certificate. So if you want to make your application stronger, you can just put a police certificate. I know it costs around 10,000 Naira back home, which is the equivalent of $30. So in total, the immigration cost for study permit application will come to around $565. This cost is only for a single applicant. If you are coming with any additional family members, the cost will go up. This cost does not include agent fee. This cost is for those that are deciding to do it themselves. Guys, I did my application myself, but I understand that there can be people that have complex situation and they have to make the application stronger. Because of that, they have to use an immigration consultant. So if you have to use an immigration consultant, you have to add their cost to this cost. I would like to say that if you have enjoyed this video so far and you have learned one or two things, please don't forget to subscribe. We appreciate the support so far. Also, take a look at our other videos. We have so many informative videos for you that you can watch and learn and better prepare yourself for your arrival in Canada. Next group of costs is the ones that you spend after your study permit has been approved. And what are these costs? The very first cost that you have to incur is your flight money to Canada. A one-way ticket will cost you about 1,200. The next cost is the remainder of your tuition fees. The next one is health insurance. And health insurance is really depends on your province. Because in my province, students are allowed to get the provincial health insurance. You don't have to pay extra money to get private insurance. When I initially came to Canada, I paid health insurance then of about $600. But now, if you are coming to my province, and I think Manitoba too, because my friend lives there, and as a student, she didn't have to pay any additional health insurance. So yeah, that's largely dependent on your province. Then also, before you settle down finally in the home of your choice, you have to pay for hotel. I feel like 2 weeks is a good duration before you get something permanent. So for an Airbnb stay, I would say maybe an average of $100 per night is what you should expect to pay. So if you're staying there for about 14 days, then that brings the total to about $1,400. The final category of expense that I would like to discuss today is your monthly living expenses. Okay, so this one is the hard one to really give you an estimate for, because it's largely dependent on number one, your location. Are you living in a big city or are you living in a small city? Do you want to live on campus or live off campus? The second thing that will determine this cost is your lifestyle. Do you want to live alone or do you want to live in a shared apartment? Do you want to take public transportation or you want to own your own car? And do you want to take out or do you want to cook your own meals? A few days ago, I just messaged a student that I know that is currently living in Fredericton for the cost of how much she spends on the monthly basis. And she was nice enough to provide me with this list. She said she pays rent for $425 and this is with utilities included, and she lives in a shared apartment. So you can expect to pay about $500 to $800. For food, she spends around $200, but really, sometimes some people spend more than that if you don't cook your own foods, and if you are ordering takeout all the time, then you should budget about $500. So for utilities, most of the time when you live in a shared apartment, the utilities is already included in it. But if you live alone, you have to pay for the utilities. I think a good average will be about $200 per month. So for your phone plans, you can decide to take a basic phone plan, but I usually advise that you take a plan that has the data with it, and you should expect to pay $50. That's if you bring your own phone. If you have to take a new phone on contract, that will depend on the phone that you take. Yeah. Miscellaneous expenses is largely dependent on you and what you want to use. By if you are the kind of person that shops around a lot, or maybe you have a lot of school supplies to buy, then yeah, these expenses can go up, or maybe it is not existent for you. So those are the costs I think that you should be prepared for when coming to Canada. I hope I've been able to break this down for you in a way that you comprehend. But on the final note, I would like to say that there are several ways for you to save on these expenses. The very first one is to get a part-time job. As a student, you are allowed to work 20 hours per week while school is in session, and while school is out of session, you can work up to 40 hours. You can even work unlimited on campus for campus jobs while school is in session. So this way, you're able to make money to save on all these costs. Also, you have to be mindful of your expenses. You have to be, when you come to a new country, it's not the time to just overspend. It's time to just be calculative and make sure that you are spending within your budget. Don't overdo it. Choose an affordable program. Do your research. Go for programs that are affordable, that you spend less to acquire the degree. Yeah. So another thing I will advise students is don't go for living alone as soon as you come. Budget-friendly space are available. Shared apartments are a less expensive option for you, because rent takes the most out of your expenses on a monthly basis. So if you can cut that cost into half by sharing an apartment with somebody, then you are on the right track. You can also choose to live with family. The fourth thing that I would suggest, that you should look for scholarship opportunities. Look for ways to get financial assistance to help you with the cost of studying in Canada. We did a video on that. If you want to take a look at it, I'll put the link in the description below. It's one of our best performing and trending videos. In total, guys, a single applicant coming to Canada for the 4 categories, this is the total that you have to spend. Yeah, I know it's pretty steep, but I would advise you to conquer the fear. There have been people that have gone ahead of you and have done it and have been successful, and I wish you success in your journey as an international student, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye for now.